My name is Lisa Caputo, and I'm a service representative in the sales support team for insurance and investments on the individual side. This webinar is designed to inform the case coordinators and back office new business staff regarding our new product that will be launched on Monday, June 22nd. The goal for this 30-minute presentation is to help you to prepare when advisors start sending these applications. I'll give you an outline regarding the design and features, compare the e-app to the new product, help you understand the process from the application to issuing for clients, advisors, and managing general agents. We'll also speak briefly about some differences in premium payments, policy changes, contracting, and commissions. I'll also provide you with resources and contacts. Please keep in mind that this is an overview. And if you're interested in having more information on the product, please join us for the launch in English on June 23rd. If you still need more information or have other questions, please don't hesitate to let us know. I will be sending you a copy of this presentation, and our contact information will also be included. I'll do this by the end of the week. So during this presentation, if you do need to speak to me, please use the chat box in this WebEx to communicate with us. And if we have time at the end of the presentation, I'll be able to answer a few of them. If not, I'll get back to you with the answers by email. No worries. So the product name indicates the type of coverage it is. In the simplified line, we have two term coverages. So the simplified term 10, the simplified term 20, and one whole life. For a guaranteed issue, it's whole life only. By having the coverage in the name, it avoids errors and it works well with our current product line. It's different from our traditional products because there is no underwriting, therefore issuing is much faster. So I'll explain in more detail later on. But our simplified products are designed for clients in relatively good health that want rapid coverage with no medical requirements. So these new products allow clients to obtain life insurance easier, and they also have immediate coverage. But the guaranteed product, well, it's for everybody, even people with medical conditions, because no medical questions are asked. So this coverage is different because there's a 2-year waiting delay for natural death, where we will refund the premiums. And for an accidental death, the sum is covered. This is an overview of the coverages. I won't go through each line. One of the important things to remember is this is for individuals only, and our maximum is 1 insured per policy. The insurance amounts vary between the age groups and the terms, as we can see. But for more information on the age groups, band rates, and limits, please see the product guide. And for the annual policy fee, there are $60. They're $50. $60 is for our other product. So no rebates are provided for multiple policies. Sorry about that. All right, so we are unique because the policy delivery is done in under an hour, and I'll explain in the process how it's done. We offer high compensation, and the advisor also gets paid much faster. And we'll also get into that in a few minutes. It's e-delivery and e-signatures with a secure e-app platform. A lot of ease. A couple of the particularities to mention. No policy replacements are permitted. And non-face-to-face sales, the payer has to be the policy owner and the insured. There are many differences between the traditional products and the simplified ones, and I'll present a few of the noteworthy ones. For the traditional products, they're submitted mainly online and with paper applications. The simplified applications can only be submitted online. However, it's the same platform for the advisors as for the e-app, with the same usernames and passwords. For the simplified products, illustrations are done online. So the same process will apply for you. The advisor sends you the illustration in a separate email. Since the premiums are not available in the illustration software, it will not be updated. Version 9 is still the most recent version. Simplified products do not have underwriting. Therefore, it's fast issuing and everything is done automatically. Our traditional products have full underwriting and medical requirements. MIB searches are also done differently. For the traditional product, the search is done during the underwriting process. For the simplified version, the MIB search is done live in the application. I'll talk more about this a little later. The face amounts allowed are also very different. The traditional products have a much higher limit. The premiums are also different, where the simplified and guaranteed issue premiums are a bit higher. The number of coverages is different. The traditional product, we can have several coverages and insureds. The simplified only has one coverage, one insured, and no riders are available. Our whole life policies do not have cash values compared to the traditional ones, but we have competitive reduced paid up protections. Our traditional products have our temporary insurance agreement, but it's not applicable in the simplified product because the contract is issued within 60 minutes. In this next section, I'll provide you with the perspective of the three parties involved to allow you to better understand the process and to help the advisors if needed. So for the first section, we'll go through the client's process. So from their perspective, it's a very interactive process. And we aimed it for the digital savvy clients. So it's similar to the current e-app, but the policy is delivered electronically. So if the sale is done non-face-to-face, the client connects to a website from their computer or their smartphone and validates the sections along with the advisor. Towards the end of the process, a unique code is generated in the application to allow the client to obtain a copy of the policy. And it's very important they don't lose it. The advisor gives the code to the client that appears on their screen, and they can also send it to the client's cell phone by entering their cell phone number. So within moments that the advisor submits the e-app, the client receives a confirmation email with some notices. So since it's simplified issuing, the first premium must be paid. In order to secure the transmission of the policy, the unique code and link to the policy are provided separately. So the client will receive a second email that provides them with a unique link to enable them to enter their code and download the policy. So the advisor gives either verbally or by text the secret code, and the link is sent by email. The link is available for 10 days. If the client and the advisor loses the secret code or passes the 10-day deadline, we all know that it can happen. So please contact the new business team and they'll definitely be able to help you out. And the advisor also has a copy of their policy. In the secure website, I'll explain in the next slide. So when the client receives the policy, it's already in force. The e-policies can be delivered on the weekend and the weekdays from 5:30 a.m. for the early birds up to 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Moving on to the process for the advisor to complete their sale. So first they log in to our online platform and they choose the simplified product. And then they fill in the sections and validate each of them. One important thing to note is that the advisor has to take care to fill out the name and the date of birth correctly, or else the MIB search will not find the client. Also, you have to ensure that the client's email address is correct, or else the client won't receive their policy. But during the questionnaire, if the client is not eligible for the simplified product, the application will notify the advisor and recommend the guaranteed issue policy. The illustration is done on the online platform, and it's the only way to determine the premium. The advisor must save the illustration in the computer at this point, because once the application is submitted, it cannot be retrieved. The advisor needs to send it to the general agent and to the client if they need to be. The signature is obtained the same way as in the e-app, except in this section, the MIB search is done immediately after the signature is validated, meaning that the MIB declarations are verified, and if needed, some questions could be re-asked to the client. It's also possible that the MIB detects a person with a similar name and date of birth, and this could also provoke re-questioning in the e-app. So if the client answers no, then the process continues and the advisor submits the application. At this point, the advisor will see the secret code and transmit it to the client. If needed, the advisor saves the PDF version of the application. We actually encourage them to do so. And once the application is submitted, it cannot be retrieved or changed. Moments after submitting the application, an email confirmation is sent to the advisor. They can be reassured that SSQ received it and it was sent successfully. After 60 minutes, a copy of the policy is uploaded to the Secure Advisor site, where the advisor can obtain it and revise it with their clients at this point. The advisor clicks on the Reports tab from the home page of our secure website and then clicks on the Contract tab, where the policies can be found in a PDF format. There are no delivery requirements and the policy is settled. And the last step, of course, is the compensation. And we'll see that in further detail a little bit later on. So the process that I just explained to you covers over 90% of the cases. However, there are some exceptions where the policy will not be issued within the 60 minutes. So the first thing to mention is that if the client already exists in our system, for example, if the client already has a policy with us, the application needs to be reviewed by our new business team to verify information such as the client contact information and face amount limits. The advisor will know that the client already exists in our system because when the search is done in the platform at the beginning of the process, it's indicated. The policy will then be issued within 24 hours that they submitted it. Of course, 24 business hours. The second case that the policy could be delayed is if there's an MIB code that would normally be refused. The application is reviewed by the underwriting team. So in the MIB section of the e-app, the advisor will have the choice to send the application anyways or sell the guaranteed issue. So the third case, if the advisor code is not active, the policy will be blocked until the contracting is conformed. All right, so the advisors, I'm moving on to the general agent process. I just want to remind you, the advisors have 3 different ways to submit applications to SSQ. So by looking at the beginning of the application number, it's a good way to differentiate the applications. So if you see an application that starts with EV, it could be a traditional product sent via the e-app or the simplified or guaranteed product. So in order for you to identify the product, you can either consult the application in PDF or in Ingenium. Advisors can still use the electronic application via the software. The application numbers are identified with an E followed by 9 numbers. And if it's a paper application, well, it's identified with numbers only at the top right of the pages. And if the PDF fillable version, the application starts with a T followed by numbers. So when the advisor submits an application, you will be notified of the sale either by the Clitus feeds or by email, and I'll explain both. Basically, the process informing you of a new sale hasn't changed. It's the same as for the e-app. But just to make sure that everybody's aware, I'll explain. General agents can receive information differently if they support Clitus feeds or not, according to the option that was chosen. So Clitus allows us to send the PDF applications and pending feeds, meaning the details of the policy, new business follow-ups, underwriting notes, directly into the back office system. Clitus is a standard that insurance companies and MGAs have to comply to in order to exchange data. So MGAs that support Clitus receive information regarding the e-apps directly into their back office systems, You don't need to enter in the information manually. So in order to be advised of a new sale, MGAs need to consult the files sent in their back office systems. Now, sorry, I also forgot to mention that the feeds are sent twice a day for the for the application notification and once for the pending feeds, and this has not changed. Agencies that aren't supporting Clytus will receive the application by email. So just a little trick here. The policy number can be found in the title of the email. So this will allow you to make any verifications necessary because the policy number is not included in the PDF of the application, of course. All right. In most cases, by the time you consult the application, the simplified policies will already be in force. You might have already noticed this. But like I mentioned before, the policies are delivered to the client via a secure site, and there are no delivery requirements. So no further action is required on your part, except to validate the status and the coverages in Ingenium if you choose to. Since LifeSuite is an underwriting tool, simplified policies cannot be found there, since they don't have any underwriting. I mentioned exceptions in the advisor's process for the very few policies where it won't be issued within the 60 minutes. So if there's an MIB code that would normally be refused and the advisor decides to submit the case in underwriting, the application is investigated by our underwriting team. So at this time, you'll be able to follow the cases in LifeSuite, and the process continues as it would in the traditional product process. If the case is blocked because the advisor code isn't conform, you can communicate with the contracting team, and the policy can be issued once the advisor code is solved. And then, of course, the compensation, your compensation. All right, there are some differences between the simplified and the traditional products with the premium paid that I want to highlight. The pre-authorized payment is taken the following Monday after submitted. So this hasn't changed. This is the same as our traditional products. And this happens even if the policy goes into review. Credit card payments, however, are taken immediately. So if the premium fails, for example, because of an error on the banking information, we will follow the same process as we do now, and the letter is sent to the client and general agent. The advisors need to make sure that they enter in the correct information as well to avoid a chargeback. There's a difference in the credit card payments that I want to clarify. In the traditional product, we allow a maximum of 1/12 of the annual premium. For the simplified products, if the client chooses to pay the first premium annually, the credit card is the only method for the first annual premium. We do not allow annual credit card payments for the traditional products, but since the simplified products are issued immediately and we need the first premium to issue, it's allowed. I do want to remind you that an annual pre-authorized payments are still not possible, the system issue, and annual payments will be billed for subsequent years. So for monthly payments, the first premium can be taken by credit card, the monthly payment, and then the rest can be done by pre-authorized debit. Or they can all be done. The first premium can also be done by pre-authorized debit if we choose monthly only. Okay, now to do a policy change, advisors are unable to do it on their online platform. They must fill out the forms that can be sent to our customer service team. The PDF version of the simplified application that's available in our dedicated simplified site and secure website that you'll see lists all the changes and the forms to be used. Many forms are the same as the traditional products. Just a little note on conversion. The conversion for the term simplified products are done towards the whole life simplified, not to be confused with the traditional permanent products. In order to issue a policy, the advisor needs to have an active code. So all the advisors already have an access to the online platform. Like I mentioned in the simplified products, it's on the same site as the traditional products. The username is the advisor's email address, and the password was provided at the eApp launch last year. And if it was forgotten, no problem. It can be easily reset on the login screen and received by email within a few moments. In order to facilitate non-face-to-face sales as much as possible, we have implemented a process that will allow us to activate an eApp code at the start of the contracting process rather than at the very end. So if you have an advisor that does not have a code yet and wants to submit an eApp, please indicate this on the contract request, and the eApp code will be activated the next business day. SSQ's standard payment process is every business day. This hasn't changed, which already beats most insurance standards. This may have less meaning for policies that are fully underwritten through the traditional underwriting process, but when you combine it with the fast delivery of our simplified products in an hour or less, this means that the advisor gets paid at the end of every business day. We also offer competitive compensation for these new products. You'll be able to consult the new compensation schedule that will be available on our secure website as of next Monday. If an application is submitted and settled before 11:30 p.m., the commission statement will be available in the secure website the next day. Just to clarify, the policy can be settled all week long, but compensation is paid weekdays only. Now for your resources and those of the advisors. We have many tools available. We have a simplified product description, including an underwriting guide, medical and non-medical quick reference guide, an eApp online tutorial that can all be found in our dedicated webpage for the eApp and simplified products. The contact for the advisors, of course, is your SSQ sales director. My team, the Sales and Distribution Support Services, we can help you with the products as well as technical support. The contact for our general agents, your SSQ sales director, as well as my team, the Sales and Distribution Support Services. And in general, for new business questions, our case managers in our new business team are the best contact for you to help. Our sales and sales support team can guide you also in the procedures as well. But if you have any particular cases, our new business team will be able to help you. So what's next? We have our live webcast launch on next Monday in French on June 22nd and in English on June 23rd. I'll be sending you a copy of this presentation, like I mentioned, and you'll be able to click on register here when you receive the PDF version. If you're not already registered, the invitations have been sent on June 8th. And if you can't make it, the broadcast will be available. Our sales directors will also be doing group advisor webinars post-launch. These are our 9 sales directors and our 7 inside sales team that cover all of Canada except for Quebec. And they're definitely able to help you as well. Thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate you taking a few moments out of your day to listen to this webinar. Let's see if we have a few minutes to answer some questions. Let's see. When can the advisor start selling? Okay, well, as of next Monday, the advisors will be able to start selling our products. Let's see. Are the applications, can they be done non-face-to-face? Yes, they can. So these two options are still available, as in the e-app process. Face-to-face and non-face-to-face are available. Let's see. We have time for maybe one last question. Okay. Ah, can the um, can the owner be a business? No, this is only for individuals only. Very good question. Thank you very much for everybody that participated. If I haven't answered your questions here, I'll get back to you by email. So really wishing you guys a great end of day and have a good rest of the week.